Rachel Maddow. Welcome to the Campaign Asylum, a sanctuary from the spin of Election '08. Today on the Campaign Asylum, we're talking about the challenge of Iraq for Republican presidential candidates. Republican voters are in kind of a pickle, if you think about it, when it comes to Iraq. They really need to figure out what they are willing to hear from their candidates about the war. Because nobody in America, outside of the Cheney family, thinks that the Iraq war is going well. At the same time, Republicans have not shown a willingness to hear from their candidates that we ought to leave Iraq ever. So if you're a candidate, if you are a Republican presidential candidate, what do? It is a tough problem. John McCain is finding out that if you just say you're with Bush on the war, then people feel about you the way they feel about Bush on the war, which is bad.
The number one difference between the way you would do it and the Bush White House?
I think that I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah. Chuck Hagel, on the other hand, is finding out that if you are a total rabid caveman conservative on everything else in the political world, but you're in favor of ending the war in Iraq ever, then that essentially gets you kicked out of the party, and they will never take you seriously as a Republican candidate for president.
We're bogged down in an area where we cannot influence the outcome, and we've got to change policy there.
If you're a Republican presidential candidate, what do you say about Iraq? Well, here's what Rudy Giuliani has figured out. This is his approach. And I think we will start seeing more of this from more Republicans. A Republican explanation, essentially, for how we ended up in Iraq in the first place.
It was the policy of the Clinton administration to have regime change in Iraq. So, in a way, George Bush carried out what Bill Clinton wanted to do and didn't get the opportunity to do.
This will go down in history as Bill Clinton's war, won't it? That dastardly Bill Clinton invading Iraq without a plan, leaving it for the Republicans to clean up after Clinton's big, bad invade Iraq idea. You know, in the debates right now about what the Democrats ought to be doing about the war in Iraq, you hear a lot of political nonsense about how liberals who want to end the war aren't being politically practical. They're not looking ahead to the '08 elections. To those folks, I say this. Do you really want to help guys like Rudy Giuliani hang the Iraq war on Democrats? Because they would love to.
It got the vote of a lot of Democrats.
I'm Rachel Maddow, making sure the candidates are not running the asylum.